everyone. All right, well, today is day 8 of the small account challenge, and today is the first day that I'm sitting here really it's the first day of this small account challenge that I'm sitting here feeling kind of disappointed in how I traded. 3 weeks ago or so, when I did my first day 1 of the small account challenge, where I traded with leverage and I was super aggressive, I wasn't very happy with that day. But then I pressed the reset button and started a new challenge the following week. So I started over with the challenge that is on day 8 right now, which is trading with the cash balance only and 1 trade a day. So today is the 8th day of 1 trade a day, but I hesitated and chose not to trade the biggest momentum stock today because I thought, because the price was higher at $34, well, even at 25, 26 when it was a little lower, I just thought that price was too high. I could really only buy like 200 shares of it, and I just thought, I don't know, buy 200 shares, I'm gonna have to make $3 a share to have a $600 winner. Yesterday I was up $700 on, one pretty nice trade, bought 750 shares, got $1 a share. That's more realistic. It was a lower price stock. So I said, you know what, I just can't do it. Well, the stock ends up going from 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, all the way up to $40 a share. So I could have ended up having a great trade or made some really good money, and I totally missed it. So then another stock starts to pop up, and I jumped in. I was like, I'm jumping in this. It was lower priced. I got in at 380, and my entry wasn't good. It just wasn't a good entry. So as a result, as soon as it started to sort of hesitate, as it came up to a double top, I was nervous because I was in too high and I didn't have a good entry. And I said, you know what, just get out. So I bailed. Made 5 cents a share, which was $77 on like 1,500 shares. And then the stock ends up pulling back and then ripping like 25 cents. So, and I was tempted to go back in because I was like, okay, well, I took my 1 trade, but it wasn't good. I should take another trade. And, but then I just said, no, that's the whole deal. 1 trade a day. Some days it's going to be good. Some days it won't be as good. And you should have waited. You should have been more patient and waited for a better quality setup. So this is the punishment. If something else forms its A quality, you're going to miss it because you blew your 1 trade on a chase and it didn't end up working out so well. So, again, it's a green day, and I was trading the leading gapper. So of all the stocks out there that I could possibly choose to chase, it was probably one of the safer ones, but it didn't end up positioning me well because as soon as it ran into resistance, I got nervous, and then I stopped out on support, and then it goes, so you get a trade off to a bad start with a bad entry, and that can really screw things up. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the recap here for day 8. The small account challenge is going well overall. I've got 8 trades. So far, they're all green. So 8 decent little winners here. Today's, I think, the smallest one so far, but it's still green, so that's good. And I'll be back at it tomorrow for day 9. I feel like I was going to say something. Well, I try to remember what I was going to say. I'll remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results are not typical, and the experience for most beginner traders and traders just in general is that you'll lose money. Trading in a small account is hard. You've got some disadvantages. You can't really average down if you have a losing trade. Not that that's a good strategy, but you can't do it. You start going in with max buying power. You're on leverage. There's leverage restrictions on some stocks, and then there's just the fact that 1 loss can potentially blow your entire account. So I encourage you to practice by trading in a simulator and not flip the switch to real money until you've first proven you have what it takes to be profitable in the sim. And then when you flip the switch to real money, 1 trade a day with small size is a great approach, because ultimately the small account by itself is kind of like the next level of sim trading. Yes, it's real money, but you should kind of approach it as like a prototype or like a proof of concept. Can I actually make money in this thing with real money? Therefore justifying investing more and having a larger account, because it's kind of like trying to run a food truck, out of a kid's toy truck or something like that. Like, it's not a real truck. Could you sell some muffins at the farmer's market and people will buy it and think it's funny? I guess so, but you're probably not going to really grow a business, but it's proof of concept. Okay, so now maybe if it worked on that scale, can I justify spending the money on the big truck or the bigger account? And then, or do I have how many muffins do I have to sell in the small truck before I can reinvest it? I don't know. You sort of have to do the math, but the purpose of a small account really is still just proof of concept. So take it slow. And I guess that's all I was gonna say. Obviously, my results are not typical. The account right now started at $4,300 and is at $6,600. So it's up over 50%. A little over 50%, which is great. So I'm making some good progress in the account, and I'll continue tomorrow on day 9. But I'm not out of the woods yet. One lapse of judgment could result in a big loss, and it could, I could give back days of profit just like that, and that's very common. So, 3 steps forward and then 3 steps back. That's what happens to a lot of traders. So I've got to be careful. I will have a red day at some point. Today was a little bit of a close call. I've got to do a little bit better tomorrow. So hope you guys enjoy the recap, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 9. All right, everyone, so small account recap here. Today is day 8 of the small account challenge. Came in this morning with $6,675.70 of equity, thanks to the profit from the last 7 days. I started it for $4,313, so the account right now is up over 50%, which is great. That's phenomenal. Of course, my results are not typical, but I'm very happy with that. And I have not been using any leverage. So even though I have daytime buying power, I haven't been using any of that leverage. So my one trade today was IGC. I bought it at 380, 1,544 shares, which was the most, pretty much the most I could buy with that buying power. And I sold it for 5 cents profit. So, this one, look at this drop here from 460 all the way down to 360. Pretty choppy. And in my main account, I traded it later in the day and I lost 15,000 on this drop right here. And that was where I said, all right, I'm done for the day. But in the small account, my one trade on it was pre-market, and it was kind of a chase. It wasn't the best entry. I should have waited. And since I'm restricting myself to one trade a day, it's disappointing that I kind of blew that one trade on a chase. I added at 380. You can see right there, in at 380. Well, 373 would have been a better place because that was a little pivot, the high there, 373. But even that would have been a chase. I was looking for the break through 384, which was the high of this green candle, and then the squeeze through 389 and a move right up to 4. And I was thinking, all right, 1,500 shares, we squeeze up to 4, maybe 415, which we ended up doing a few minutes later. That could work, $300-400 of profit. And my stop, however, I knew had to be really tight. So when it popped up and double topped at 89, I said, uh-oh, this is doing a double top. I got to get out. So I got out. I hit the bid. I bailed out for 5 cents profit, $77.20. It pulled back down to 378, which means I would have been down 2 cents a share. And then it ripped up to 403. Then it pulled back, and then it squeezed up to 425. And then at the open, it moved a little higher. So that's kind of annoying because, the better entry would have been waiting for the first 1 minute pullback right there. And then I would have been in at 385, basically exactly where I sold. But I could have actually gotten more like 10 cents of profit. It then pulled back to 384, which would have been only to break even before the second attempt through 403, which gave us that bigger move. And would I have held on that squeeze from 389, from a 384 entry to 403 when it dipped back down to 82? Wait, what was the low there? To 84. I don't know. You never like to have a rejection of a $0.50 like that, or a whole dollar. I might have just taken it off the table at like 95 when it broke back below 4. So realistically, this still might not have been that big of a trade. And the trade that I did so well on in my main account on Neuro, I didn't trade it in the small account because my first entry on Neuro was at $26.13 on a bottoming candle wick, right down in here. Well, actually, that wasn't my first trade, but that was one of the best trades. So I had that trade right there, 26, 14 or 13 or something like that. We had this awesome pullback right here. We had this one right here. We had this one and this one. I mean, it was just super strong. But once it took off like that, I just felt like I couldn't trust chasing it in the small account. And of course, by that time, let's see, what time did I take my first trade? So so I took this trade in my main account first, and I was like, oh man, that worked out a lot better than I thought, but I can't chase it in the small account. I can only buy 200 shares, and so I left it alone. Yeah, sometimes that's what happens. You know, the one that becomes the biggest mover is just not one that you can afford the risk on. And if that's the case, it is what it is. You know, trade. You know, you just gotta trade what works for you, what fits within the strategy. So, anyways, that's it for me. Day 8 in the books, $77.20. Small progress, and just have to wait for kind of the next stock that fits a little bit better within my strategy. And I wish that maybe I had been a little more patient today. I think because I had already missed the trades on Neuro in the small account, when IGC started to move up, I was like, I better jump in it right here. I don't want to miss it. So that kind of gave me some FOMO, because as it turns out, if I had bought 200 shares of Neuro, even if I had bought it, you know, down here at like 27.30, 27.50, I could have made $600 on it, even more, because it went so much higher. But you know, that's just those are the emotional traps in the market. So anyways, it's coming up towards 10 a.m. I'm shutting it down. Small account, progress, good. But this would probably be the closest trade I've had so far during this challenge to a break-even trade, where I got in, not very good entry, and then had to just get right back out. So not really a great day here on day 8, but it's green, and I'll live to trade another day. I'll be back at it tomorrow. All right, that's it for me for the small account recap. Thanks guys for tuning in.
And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content. But do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.